For this assignment, you're going to create your first web page virtually from scratch. It's not 1992 anymore. We don't need to type every single thing in a website. A lot of times we'll start with the bones of a web page, one that someone else has built, or one that we've built in the past, and add what we need to. This is assuming that you have completed reading, and maybe reading and doing, chapters 1 and 2 in the HTML and CSS Visual Quick Start text. We're going to go ahead and use some text that is from the textbook to start our web page. So we'll find that in chapter 1, and we want a basic HTML page with no content. Now here in the details view in Windows Explorer, I see the name of the page because that's when I extracted this to my computer, and if I click on it, this is going to open up in Firefox as a web browser. And if I did that, I would just see a blank page because there's nothing here. So I don't want to open this up in Firefox to edit it. I want to open it up in a text editor. And later I could open it in Firefox and see how my text went, and we will do that. Now on my computer I use an editor called Notepad++. And to get this menu of choices of things to open up this file with, I right-clicked on the file name, and I have a choice of opening it or editing it in Notepad++. So I'm going to click that button. And it's going to open up this file here, and we'll see that we have the doc type tag. We are indicating that we have HTML coming, and we have the opening and closing HTML. We have a head, and the closing the head, and the opening the body, and the closing of the body. And using a text editor like Notepad++ helps us keep track of what we're doing by color coding the various HTML elements. Notepad++ recognizes that we're working in HTML because this has been saved as a .html file. Before I go much farther, I do want to go ahead and show you where you too can get Notepad++. It's at notepad-plus-plus.org. It's absolutely free software. That said, I want to strongly encourage you to be a good netizen and give a donation to the community that makes this tool for you. People who give away free software on the internet are like buskers in the subway. And if somebody plays a really good song that moves you in the subway, it's good to give them a few dollars. If Notepad++ saves you a bunch of time over other tools or other software that you'd have to buy, then go ahead and give them some money as well. I can't make you do it, but I can encourage you to contribute to the people who make programs like this and other free programs that you might download that have donate buttons. That encourages the people who make this to continue to improve it and to keep it safe and secure and add new features. Alright, getting off my soapbox on that now. We can see that the HTML tags have a blue color to them, and the attributes will have red for the name of the attribute and purple for the value of the attribute. Any text that's going to be visible on our page, such as the title, is in black, and any comments are in green. We could see this whole comment if we wanted to by putting a little return there, but we don't need to do that. Ultimately, we're going to get rid of this comment. So for our first page, we're going to give it a title, My First Web Page. I honestly don't care what you give it for a title. The assignment is to give it a title and write some content in it and upload it to the web server. And as typical for programmers, usually you make the first program that you make in any language say hello world on the screen. So I'm going to go and type hello, comma, world, exclamation point. Now you could leave the comment in there, it doesn't hurt anything, but I'm going to get rid of it. And I'm going to go ahead and save this as file, save as, and I'm going to go ahead and leave it right there in chapter 1. I'm going to call it My First Page. I'm not going to leave any spaces in this file name. Now, we've been able to be pretty lazy with Microsoft Office and a lot of other software for years now, allowing to have spaces in file names. But on the World Wide Web, depending on the device and the browser that you send it to, it can get tripped up over spaces and anything other than hyphens and underscores in file names and folder names. We are going to want to go ahead and save it as Hypertext Markup Language. You can see Notepad++ allows me to use a number of different file extensions. I'm going to go ahead and put that .html there. And I'm going to save it. Now, I encourage you to go back to your file folder and find that file. And if it's not attributed to an HTML document, right-click to it and open it with some browser. For example, I might want to open it in Chrome instead of Firefox. And that is opening on the other screen. But here we can see where you put your title appears in the tab. And Hello World, the text that I typed in the body, appears on the screen. We have a URL that directs to folders on my hard drive. Notice that where I named a file text space downloads, it throws in this HTML code of %20 to represent a space. But after that, I'm keeping all of my folders and file names having no spaces in them, so they don't look weird with all those spaces thrown in there. So far, that's the first step. You have made your first web page. You have seen it on a browser. Now we're going to want to go ahead and put it on our web server. So we'll type classweb.ccv.edu. We're going to go to our ELF file manager. In our public HTML folder, you're going to want to create a folder for this module, because we are going to ultimately be creating a website in the root of this public HTML folder for everyone to see. And I want to add a new folder. I'm going to call it Module 01. Now the reason to use 01 and not just 1 is we're going to have 12 classes. And if we use 1, then when we're all done, it'll be Module 1, and then alphabetically the next module will be Module 10, Module 11, Module 12, Module 2. So we're going to start with 2 digits now, so that we have nice alphabetical order modules 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Once we've made that, we can double-click on it to open it. We'll see it appear over here in the indexed menu on the left. And then 2 buttons over, we will find the little diskette-looking file, and that's what we use for upload. We'll click on that, and we need to navigate to the folder where we have our file. I saved that in text 1. My first page. I'm going to open that, and that will upload that my first page.html into Module 1. And if you open it, we can see that web page open up in a sample Chrome browser window. If you want to see the public-facing version of your hosting, you'll type in an address bar your college username, .classweb.ccv.edu. Now, if we had something in your root directory, which we haven't done yet, we'll get to that next week as we start to plan and work on our websites. We need to go look at what's in the Module 01 folder. So we'll put a slash, and after the slash will come Module 01. And you're going to have to remember what the name of your web page was. Because unless you name it index.html, it won't automatically be the first file that it opens. So we'll try that. We'll hit enter, and there you have it. Hello World shows up on this screen. So what I'd like you to do on the assignment is to copy this URL from your public-facing page and paste it in to the text field of the assignment and make it a hyperlink to your page. Good luck and have fun!